What does it mean to be good? And one of the ways that I try to submit that for people is think about there's two ways. One is what does it mean to live a good life? And the other, it's kind of along with this, but if at a funeral we see that someone's passed away and we say that here lies so and so, he or she was a good person, he was a good man or she was a good woman, what kind of thoughts or characteristics come to mind? So let's take a look at some of the answers from some of my guests.
I think more than anything, integrity,
Mm-hmm.
because doing good things could be different in different situations. Um, so it's honesty, integrity, those kinds of things. Dealing with people as best you can. Nobody's perfect. I mean, this side of heaven, we're all we all make mistakes, and but I think it's really the integrity and the honesty with which you approach people and things.
Oh, that's a fun one. That's a really fun one. Really, kind of on what does it mean to be good is trying trying just to focus on God and what He has for you. Because goodness may look different in different people, and not like one person can commit a crime but the other one can't. No, not like that. But it's like goodness for this person may be, giving some money and helping this person over here. But goodness for this person who doesn't maybe have the finances is baking that loaf of bread and helping their neighbor. It's like to be good, it's to maybe look for the needs around you and kind of seek God and how to fulfill them. I mean, because we live in a very financial culture. I mean, we do. I mean, as money's everywhere. It's buying this and advertising wants your money, but it's like if you can bake bread, then you can help somebody who's hungry. If you can, sew, then you can clothe somebody who needs it. If you've got water, then you can give somebody a drink who's thirsty. And it's like it's maybe just kind of seeking those ideas. Okay, God, is there somebody immediately around me, whether in my neighborhood, in my house, or that needs this, and how can I fulfill that need in their life? So I guess that one answers that question.
Well, if we go back to my definition,
Mm-hmm.
where the idea and the way it's expressed come together in this harmony, if you think about that more along the lines of how we are as human beings, the way
Mm-hmm.
we live life is our expression of what God has been teaching us. And so it's not only just having this head knowledge, but now we got to live it out.
Right.
And so the way it's expressed has to come together with that meaning in this harmonious symphonic interplay.
And so I guess what it would mean to be good is actually living within
Mhm.
that. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
I think it all comes down to love in the end,
Mm-hmm.
um, and to be prepared to put love for people above other considerations. That's not about kind of being completely a doormat,
Mm-hmm.
but I think good people are people of integrity and authenticity and wisdom who are guided by love.
I would replace I would say what does it mean to be Christ-like? Because
Okay.
that's
Yeah.
my um goal. I,
Mm-hmm.
I don't make it, of course, every day or all the time, but my goal is to be Christ-like. And if I'm living a good life, I'm more
Mm-hmm.
Christ-like.
This is gonna sound really cliche, but you gotta be in Christ.
Yeah.
Um, we R.C. Sproul once was asked the question, why do bad things happen to good people? And his
Mm-hmm.
response was, "Man, that's only happened once, and he volunteered."
Yep.
And so I know it's cliche, but like, oh, don't people like listen? If you are in Christ, you are good because of Him. And
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember who said it, but the only thing that you bring your salvation is the sin that made it necessary. So
Mhm.
what is good? Bible defines good. Good is in Christ. Good is
Mhm.
righteousness and holiness. God be in Christ.
Well, I think that people, I think a lot of people probably have different ideas about
Mhm.
what being good is, but you could say
Mhm.
a lot of things, being righteous, having pure intentions, but I think the number one thing is integrity. I mean, integrity,
Yeah.
whether you believe in God or not, if you are doing right, you're doing good, being kind, being generous, being thoughtful, being considerate, and you're doing it when no one's looking or there's no way to get a reward, I think that's pretty darn good.
I mean, you can go into a whole conversation about objective morality, but
Sure.
I think living a godly life,
Mhm.
following the commands that Jesus laid out for us, that will keep you on the good path.
Mhm.
I think outside of that, it's being a decent human being,
Right.
loving the neighbor.
Yeah.
That's what it boils down to.
Absolutely.
Um, yeah,
Yeah. Sometimes.
I guess that's all I got for
Yeah.
that.
No. That's great, and and I love the variety of answers I get from all of this. As far as being a decent human being, there are some times in some places where that'll make you really stand out too. Um,
Yeah. Well, and I take it back to the gospel.
Mhm.
Sharing the gospel isn't always speaking about it. It's sometimes just, I call it gospel in action. It's doing the thing that the gospel tells you to do until somebody notices and goes, "Hey, how do you do that?" And then you have an opportunity to be like, "Well, let me tell you. Let me tell you about to get my boy Jesus."
Yeah. Yeah. Tell you about Jesus, my boy.
Someone who cares, and even when we do mess up, we are still trying our best to be kind and to be good, I guess.
Yeah.
I would say it's to recognize just how um, flawed we actually are, and not just how flawed and broken other people are, but how flawed and broken I am, and try to give other people the grace that I want. Um, and of course, seek help from God to be better than I can be on my own. But it's not very good to think higher of yourself or more of yourself than you actually deserve.
Well, it's to live in alignment with what God has decreed. Who decides what's good? It's God. But then also for your walk to match your talk. And as someone with ADHD who will often say, "Yeah, I'm going to do that," and then you forget about it because it's not directly in front of you. That has been probably one of the things that I beat myself up the most for, because it's not that I didn't do the thing, but it's that I didn't do what I said I would do. And so
Right.
for me, being a good person is a person that you can count on, being a person of integrity, someone whose walk matches their talk. And so, yeah, if eh, so I guess that would be my definition of a good person. Someone who is a person of integrity and who you can count on.
And again, we got a variety of answers. Integrity is one of the big ones. There was a funeral that I preached when, kind of in the earlier days of doing this podcast, especially once I started interviewing people that I did not actually know. And I was able to take some of these answers that I definitely agreed with and was able to funnel that into the funeral and be able to integrate that a bit, and acknowledging that the lady who passed away, she had lived a good life, and that she followed what it meant to be good. And again, I'm just curious what your thoughts are. What do you think it means to be good? And however you want to answer that. Again, I have it open-ended. Sometimes people will want to go on and say, well, nobody's good, and that's fair. But in whatever your own interpretation of that term, what does it mean to be good? It does mean something. And so what does that mean to you?